We're going to Forma Drift Japan, you guys. So we're gonna get it acid dip. We gotta get a little work done. Turbo's on there. We got the subframe in. Transmission in. All the stuff fit. Yeah, so we got 4 stiffies in here.
They're black stiffies.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 9, I think. I can't keep track at this point. The R32 is really coming along now, but a couple quick things. We just hit 80,000 subscriptions on YouTube, or subscribers rather, so appreciate all of you. Thank you guys for all the love, and we also just dropped new merch. There's a lot of great stuff happening right now, so go check that stuff out, HaugenRacing.com. Also, if you haven't subscribed, what the f are you waiting for? I have serious questions. Hey, Aaron can bleep it out. That's why we got an editor. Nice shot. So last time, JMO was getting started on all the wiring, and then we kind of showed you guys a plan for the exhaust. The downpipe is finished. The exhaust is nearing completion, at least tact-wise, and then it'll get all welded up. And the wiring is getting freaking nuts. So let's get into this. All right, so if you guys watched the last episode, we were talking about the exhaust plan. So essentially, the turbo outlet's 4-inch, and then we had already built, or Brady rather, had already built a 5-inch titanium hood dump for the Tacoma build. That was going in the Tacoma, that guy over there. We realized we had to build a new car for Forma Drift Japan, and it's like we had this great drivetrain, so we just stole it. We also had like cool intercooler piping, all that stuff, so we've basically been kind of stealing everything we can. We're basically doing like a 2-stroke chamber, as JMO called it. So we're V-banding here to stainless, then we have a flex pipe. Flex pipe's just a good idea. There's always a little bit of movement, and even with the turbo and stuff like that, so you want to protect the exhaust and the exhaust manifold from cracking over time, so you put like a flex pipe in there at one section. So that's stainless. Honestly, this is one of the more complicated like single exhausts I've ever seen, but I think it's really, really rad, and I think it's gonna look amazing and sound really, really good, so I'm stoked on it. And this is not, it's not welded in, so it's just all tacked up. So it'll get like the heat treatment to get all the bluing before Brady welds it. And then it'll end up looking just like that, so. This is JMO's first time working with titanium. And I think between him and Brady, they're doing a hell of a job. Oh, you guys haven't even seen this. So this intercooler pipe, they just finished up.
Well, the issue I've been having is the pie cuts are fine. I'm totally good with those, but these 4 to 5 transitions, they're like kind of an odd shape. They don't fit perfectly. Since this had already been welded and worked with, going on the other side to that transition, the 5-inch that had already been worked with was oval. So,
God, what if it sounds like a freaking 2-stroke like GoPed or something? It's so funny. But yeah, so that is kind of the update on the exhaust right now, but we'll get her done. All right, so I'm gonna have JMO tell you guys a little bit about the wiring, because I have no idea what he's doing. He said he knows about 50% of what he's doing, so.
Yeah, so I have done, wiring for small circuits, fixing wiring, that kind of thing, but never have I started from scratch and kind of built a harness. So this, like, that I have laid out here for an example is, this is gonna be the rear harness that runs off the rear bulkhead, right? This is kind of the best idea I could get on how we're doing this, and at every split in the harness, I've got things labeled. So this is like how they wire a lot of, Air Force stuff, airplanes, things like that.
So the normal wires are like really just protecting other stuff from electricity, is my understanding, whereas these wires actually are like resistant to chemicals and heat and on and on and on. Then we go like an extra step, which everyone does when they do the mil-spec wiring. We'll actually put sheathing over it that's also chemical and flame resistant and stuff. And so like once you get to the end, they're pretty bulletproof harnesses, which is really, really cool.
It'll get this really cool tight weave wire cover, and then each individual joint in the harness will get double walled heat shrink with internal adhesive. Wow. So it should be nice and water resistant and chemical resistant.
The old harness was built to mil spec by Aaron Parker, Wolfwire. If you guys are in California, by the way, awesome wiring guy. But yeah, he had already built a whole chassis harness for it and with some like extra stuff in it. So we're using a lot of that and kind of reusing it, which is great. I like recycling stuff. Otherwise it just becomes a waste of money. Like no one's gonna buy my old chassis harness from my R32. Like well, that was freaking fast. Jimmo really made some headway on the rear harness. It's pretty much done. So, got rear bulkhead. Everything is labeled in there. It all comes out. You can see both the fans plugs in here, the fuel pump. Then you got third brake light, and then the tail lights and AccuSum as well. So, all right, so little update on the exhaust. I forgot that we didn't have our drive shaft yet, and Jim was like, where's our drive shaft? And then like on Monday, I was like, yeah, where's our drive shaft? So I started calling them up. We are gonna get it next week, but that really stalls out kind of where we're at on the exhaust. So the downpipe over here is done, right? It needs to be finished welding. We'll have Brady do that. And then goes to the flex pipe, transitions to the oval, blah, 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 but then we're kind of stalled out right there. Without the drive shaft, we're gonna actually loop kind of under it, and without having it, we don't know how, you know, the kind of clearance and stuff like that. So that is a bit of a bummer, kind of where we're at on the exhaust for this episode. So next episode, hopefully we'll have a drive shaft and stuff. All right, since we now have both the front intercooler pipes, Jam was able to get kind of some final details on the plumbing finished up in here. So I'm gonna have him show you guys that. It's really like, I mean, this thing is getting so damn close. It's crazy.
Okay, so we've got the nitrous, the plume nozzle installed. It's basically going to spray after this sweet map sensor that's here and right into the throttle body. The turbo all plumbed up. Our purge nozzles.
Oh, look at the purge. Those are the LEDs. If you guys watched one of the last episodes, we were talking about the purge system, but those are gonna be blue, and there's gonna be 2 blue clouds. It's gonna be ridiculous.
And then I need to pull this whole intake manifold off to install another map sensor. So all this has to come back apart.
What?
And then you go back together. So hopefully for the last time.
God dang it. All right, so if you guys haven't figured it out by now, this car is gonna be yellow, red, and blue. I'm not telling you guys like exact details and stuff. We are switching some stuff up, but Jam and I came up with a sick idea for the vacuum lines. And it's small details, but look at this. Even the nitrous solenoids are red and blue, which is so sick.
Injector O-rings are either yellow or blue.
Ooh. Like no one is ever gonna say that, but that's so sick. All right, guys, we're gonna cut this episode here. I appreciate all you guys watching. Also, we dropped a bunch of new merch last week, so go check that out. Every purchase helps the build, helps us go to FD Japan. We're also doing weekly episodes on the build, so stay tuned. Next Friday, we'll have another one. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Peace out. Peace out.